All right. Hello, everybody. We are live and in color. Thank you all so much for those of you who are joining and those of you who will join. Come on in and say hello and share this out. Let someone know that we're on. You all know we don't do a whole lot of preface. We give you the opportunity to share. We get the opportunity to share, and then we are ready to roll. So go ahead and get your sharing on. I will give you a few announcements while we do that. Welcome to our Real Women Rock live chat every week we have, where we have a guest. We rock, so we want you to get a sneak peek into a conversation, a real conversation with some real women. We have amazing women up here every night of every week, and this one is no different. We have known each other for years.
Yeah.
End up at the same place all the time. And so admire your practice and everything that you do. Before we get to talking with my sister, I want to give you a couple of announcements while you are sharing. My name is Trinace Richardson. I am the founder of Real Women, and we exist to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. And we do that through sister circles. So we host virtual sister circles now since COVID. We used to reserve them only for our all access members, but we've started to do them with everyone now. And so we invite you on a monthly basis to be a part of our sister circle. And our sister circles that are held on a monthly basis really just delve into what women are dealing with. And so this past one, we dealt with having a digital detox. Is it time for a digital detox? And coming up, we're going to talk about living authentically and the difference between what we show people, what we appear to be versus who we really are, and that disconnect, and how we can really just align all of who we are, no matter who we are in front of or around. Really living authentically is what we're going to talk about this coming February 20th. So Saturday, February 20th. We would absolutely love to have you join us at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It is virtual. All of the information is at realwomenrock.org. You see the information down there, realwomenrock.org. All right, I see some folks coming in. Say hello to us. Let us know that you're here. We would love for you to say hello to us so that we can say hello back. Listen, this is interactive. We don't just talk to our guests. We want to hear your questions. We want you to share your thoughts. We're going to ask you a couple of questions during this half an hour, and we would love to hear what your thoughts are. So, y'all ready? All right. I see some haze and some waves in there. But I would absolutely love for you all to say hello to us and let us know you're here. I am so happy to introduce Dr. Avalaura.
I'm a doctor now. Hey, now.
Girl, you were up there counseling them folk on the housewives. You might as well touch on that name. No, I really appreciate you, Avalaura, because you have your spirit, your energy has just been so consistent the years that I've known you. And we all go through, we all have our moments, but every time I see you, you have a beautiful smile on your face, and you are just good company to be around. And so I am just honored to have you here because of the important work that you do. And this conversation is going to help so many folks. So if you wouldn't mind saying hello to folks and giving us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
First of all, thank you for saying that. That just touched my heart. I appreciate you so much. And I love the platform that you've created. I remember coming in the beginning before all of this actually came into existence. And so I've just been watching you build and grow and supporting you. And I love it. And so I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you.
And so, a little bit about me. My name is Avalaura. I'm a life coach and intuitive consultant here in the DC area, although I have clients everywhere now,
Yeah.
literally everywhere internationally. And, I have been rocking and rolling and doing this work for the last 15 years. November of 2020, I celebrated my 15 years in business. And it has just been a blessing to be able to help people from really doing their soul work, really doing very deep soul healing and helping you move from settling to significance in your life and your relationships, business, and career.
Mhm.
And I love it. My clients are my babies, so we just, it is healing work. It can be at times, it can be a little exhausting, it can be a little painful and uncomfortable, but it really is a lot of fun. Like, we enjoy the process and the journey. And so I love that I created this life for myself and I'm able to do this full time and make such an impact in people's lives.
Yeah, isn't it's I think it's such a beautiful thing to envision, because I haven't always been here. So to envision what you want created in your life and then to co-create it, to actually see it manifest, instead of always what ifing and I wishing and all those
Exactly.
things. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it is, we really don't know our power.
Yeah.
We really don't know our power and our full potential. And when you have a dream for yourself and have a vision and you watch it grow and you watch things over time happen, you like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And that's my life right now, like getting an email from PayPal. Hey, we want you to speak about self-care. Got an email from another organization that I spoke at last year about really having a healing discussion about racism. Hey, we want you to come back and talk to us during Black History Month, and this is what we're paying. And I'm like,
Okay.
how
That's
is
what we're
that?
doing. I know that's right. That is beautiful. Now, someone asked, there was already a question while we were advertising. Before we get into the topic, we're going to go there. But before we go there, someone wanted to know if you could talk a bit about what an intuitive coach or consultant is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and so for me, first of all, let me just be real with y'all, because we Black. That's what we do. I made that up. Like, I don't, I'm gonna tell you what I believe an intuitive consultant is,
Girl,
right? But what other people might think, I don't know.
That's
But
hilarious.
for me, it was important to acknowledge the importance of my intuition in the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my formal training. So I got receipts. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology and master's degree in social work from Howard University. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified hypnotist, aromatherapist. I've trained in yoga and meditation. So many things that I don't even remember half the time with everything that I've done. So I have receipts. I go hard to go home.
Yeah.
But even with that, it was important for me to acknowledge the role of my intuition in the work that I do and how I've gotten to this space.
I'm sorry to
So a big
interrupt you.
part.
I just got a little excited about hearing you list off all of your degrees, all of your certifications and licensures and all of those things, and said, and I still needed to come back and honor the fact that there's an inner knowing in me that leads me and guides me and continues to inform the work that I do. And I would dare say, I'm putting this on you, but just as much, if not more than any of the things I've gotten from a school or anything else. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely. That. And the truth is, I could not fully help my client if I did not operate from that space.
Yeah.
Because that is why somebody will come to me versus, look, life coaches are a dime a dozen right now. You can find them on every corner.
Yep.
But one of the things that separates me out is the fact that I am able to connect to my intuition, which helps me to connect to my client's intuition and draw that out of them and really help them to see them for who they truly are from that authentic space and connect with that. Because a lot of times when my clients come to me, we talk all about alignment right now. Like that's the sexy word right now. Every so often we get these buzzwords, and right now alignment is it.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be in alignment if you are not in intuition.
Mm.
And you can't be in intuition if you're not feeling and you haven't worked on and managed and mastered your feelings.
That's good, Avalaura. That's good. That's good. That's good. I'm just letting it sit for a second.
You can let marinate. We can
Yeah.
marinate. But I think it's important because we hear all this stuff and it sounds good, but how do you do it? How do you get there?
Yeah. So let's talk about this because we are right on line with the topic. Y'all may not know it, but we are right here in the topic because we have a question for you. The topic is the answer is already inside of you. And really, God does all things well, because I don't know if I really paid as much attention to the intuitive coach piece because I'm aware of so much of the work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I know that it takes intuition to do so much. But when I chose the topic and sent you questions and all of that, and then a girlfriend of mine lifted that question up, what I hear you saying is that you help people tap in to their own confidence about who they are and what they're supposed to be being and doing, right?
Yes.
So my question to you all out there is, and you can answer it live or on the replay, what are you in search of for 2021? Like, what are you out here seeking, searching for? What are you looking for? Maybe it's love. Maybe it's, some abundance, some prosperity. What are you looking for? What are you seeking in 2021? So that's the question on the floor for you all. And I would love for you to just stay here in this space of talking about that knowing, your inner knowing. I literally old folks call it your knower. Like, you got, all of us have a knower, and that can lead us and guide us. And so the thought that what we have, the answer that we need, is already inside of us. Could you talk about that just a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the knower. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is, I'm glad we're having this topic, because in a way it reminds me of when people say, heal thyself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I likened it to the same thing, in that we all have the power and the potential. Anything that we're seeking, it's given to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that you really truly desire from a soul place that was given to you, you're in desire of it because it's a part of who you are. It's a part of your purpose.
Wow.
And so if it's a part of you, that means you have the answers and the abilities inside of you.
That's good.
Now, here's where people get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we think that because we have the answers and because we have the power, I don't need help.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So I can read a book.
Mm-hmm.
I can read these self-help books over here. I can go online and Google and all of this stuff, and I should be able to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, just because it's inside of you doesn't mean that you don't need help pulling it out to the surface.
That's good, Avalaura. That's good. That's good. What we are all here to do is to fulfill whatever our purpose is on the earth, right? And so many of us, I literally work with authors, and we did a wonderful book called Purpose Pushers. And they talked about stories about different phases of their purpose journey. Some hadn't discovered what it was. Some had discovered it, but were really scared, teeter-tottering, whether they jumping into it or not. And there are other phases, but I'll stay there for the purpose of saying that oftentimes we stay stuck on not knowing for sure, not feeling fulfilled, not knowing what we're supposed to do. And it's exactly because of what you just said. We don't allow anyone into that vulnerable space to help us. Someone that is confident and equipped enough and
Yeah.
experienced enough to help us draw that out, because we can open ourselves up to some folks and
Exactly. The wrong people.
they can
And
kill.
and a lot of times that's what happens is we start there with the
Yeah,
wrong people.
yeah.
And because of that experience, then we say, oh no, I'm never doing that again. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just not going to open myself up to anybody, because
Right.
the last time I reached out for help, they didn't help me.
Mm-hmm.
Or, the same people that I'm always helping when I needed help, they didn't come to my rescue. So
Right.
I'm just not going to ask anymore. There must not be anybody who can help me.
Yeah, that's so good, because what that says is it takes courage to be vulnerable.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
there's strength in vulnerability. So
Yes.
if we have been hurt before and we close ourselves up, it really takes a lot of courage to open ourselves back up again and say, it didn't work out because of that person or that situation, but let me begin again. Let me, speak again. Could you talk about, did you always know that we're talking about this answer already inside of you, right? What did you know about yourself, or what kind of journey did that look like? Did you already know you were a healer or a teacher or life coach, intuitive consultant, or did that kind of emerge over time?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true for most of us.
Yeah.
We know a little bit,
Yeah.
but we don't necessarily see the whole. And so that evolved over time.
Yeah.
And so I come from a very religious family.
Mm-hmm.
My father wasn't at the time, so I'm not a preacher's kid. But he now, went to seminary school after I went off to college, and I was all living my best life. And so, when the kids go off, the parents decide they're gonna do all the stuff they've been putting off. And so he went to seminary school. So he is now he kind of ministers some churches, and he teaches Bible study and do all of that. And my parents were always very active in the church. My grandparents active in the church. My cousin is a chaplain in the Air Force. So very religious family.
Yeah.
But I was not religious. I was always very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that from a very young age.
Wow.
I would actually have experiences where it was a little weird in that I could like fit in with everybody, but yet I didn't fit in. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I got along with everybody. Everybody liked me. I would not say I was not like the popular kid, but I got along with everybody. But I was really weird. Like the stuff that I liked and into, they weren't really into. Like really
weirdos unite.
Yeah, like I would rush to do my own chores just so I could like sit in my room and read and and be in my own little dream world. Like I would literally sit and just dream and imagine.
I can relate.
And at the time, I didn't know it was nothing crazy about that, but I love to do that. And I realize now, like I was like meditating and having these spiritual experiences, and I didn't know what they were. And I didn't have anybody to talk to about them. So part of me knew it wasn't all the way normal, but that it happened so naturally for me. And so I just accepted it as my norm. So I was always very spiritual. I always just kind of knew things and felt things very strongly. And I'm the oldest of 3 kids. So I was always just bossy. Like I was just a natural leader. So, when it came to what do you want to do for a living? You're applying for college. I knew I wanted to go to Howard. I applied to only HBCUs. And when when my mom was like, so what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to do psychology because I'm going to counsel people because I'm good at that. People listen to me. And she was like, okay, well, you're going to have to get your PhD, all of this. I was like, okay, no problem. It didn't work out that way. It took a whole different way, which was a part of my journey and a blessing for me, in that I didn't get into the clinical psych programs I was applying to. I ended up in social work and took me down this holistic path. And so that was, again, a part of the journey. But I did know that I wanted to do counseling and I wanted to advise people and I wanted to help people heal. I just didn't know that it would take on really combining the spiritual with everything that I do and the holistic. I had no idea all of that was going to happen.
Oh, that's cool. So what I love about that is it encourages all of us who are listening. And the question to you all tonight is, what are you in search of for 2021? Just, it might be love. It might be, I got some folks up here. It might be world peace. I got some big dreamers up here. I see some names. And seriously, it might be, racial justice or, whatever it is you are personally in search of. health and wholeness, wellness in your life, something, surrounding family, whatever you are in search of. It lets us know what your story does is it says everything may not be revealed to you right now, but the combination of the seeds that are planted and the hints and the clues throughout the different points in your life that let you know you light up when you do this, or when you're in this space, you really feel at home. In addition to the fact that some folks are designed, are placed in our lives, or positioned or presented to us to help us draw that out and to realize those answers. So I really appreciate you sharing kind of a combination of that over time it's evolved for you, as well as there were some things you knew about yourself. I know that's right. Somebody said, I just want to relax.
Listen, I'm here for it.
We just finished talking about that. Just the fact that the sit still is nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Let me ask you this, because you mentioned the how. You mentioned it's so important that when we talk about the answer being inside of us, that it's important to talk about the practicality of it and how that happens. Yeah. What advice would you give to those who are feeling, who are searching, feeling lost or confused or frustrated by their current circumstances, and they want more, they see more for themselves? What would your advice be to them to do something or to be different so that they can move closer toward it?
Yeah. So one of the best things that you could do is so funny. You actually really started to address it. And so one of the things, even though, and we were talking, we could say a lot of bad things about COVID, right? All bad.
Yeah.
But one of the good things that really came out of this time is that it did force us to just take a beat, take a moment, and sit still with no distractions.
Yeah.
Right? Like there was a time there were no games, there was no sports, there's no entertainment, we couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do nothing. And so you really just had to sit down with yourself. And it's so interesting how this ended up, being one of the best, 2020, one of the best years for me, in that so many people were contacting me like, okay, I'm ready. I've been running from this problem, or, I had all these distractions, all these things going on, and now I have some time. So now I can work on me.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing. And one of the things is not sexy, it ain't cute, but one of the things that I always say that we need to do is, in addition to meditation, because I am a huge proponent of meditation, I teach meditation, I have, meditation, MP3s and things that I've recorded. But one of the things in addition to that is just taking time to just sit in silence.
Oh, that's good.
Sit in silence. So not meditate, because meditation is more focusing on something, focusing on your breath, focusing on an object, focusing on a mantra or music or whatever, but just sitting in silence with yourself.
And that is so uncomfortable for some.
It is.
It is. Why do you think that is?
Because we are used to going, busy. Ego likes distraction. Ego doesn't want to sit and look at itself for what it is. And so any distractions, anything else, it's like procrastinating. Oh, I'm gonna do this over here. I know I got this deadline, but I'm gonna do this over here, that over there, that over there. And so we like that distraction. So it's hard to just sit with yourself, because when you do that, believe it or not, answers will start coming up. The things that you're running away from will start coming up.
Yeah. So we don't sit still long enough, because some of us don't trust our knower, right? We don't trust our knowing. No. We don't trust that the silence that we sit in. I too, have grown up in a very religious context, and I've had the honor of teaching world religions and just really, traveling and all those things, and so for me, I'm able to pull from a lot of different places. But one of the things that come to mind when you were talking just now was be still and know.
Yes.
that I am
Yes.
God. And so the idea that we would just literally sit still
Hmm.
would cause us to know some things
Absolutely.
about ourselves, about our creator, just about certain things that we don't take time, we don't get quiet and still enough to know otherwise. I love that. I love.
Yeah. And you said something really important. And so even in this, one of the things that's important is giving ourselves permission,
Mhm.
to really receive and tune into what we do know.
Mm,
Because the truth is, a lot of us don't want to know. I
mhm.
have clients, they're scared. When we're doing this work and we're, I'm taking them through this journey and asking them these questions and taking them through these different exercises so that they can really see their truth. They're like, I'm scared.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to come up.
yeah,
And I'm scared of that. And
yeah,
so a lot of times we're scared for those truths to even be revealed. We're scared to get the answers.
yeah. Can I ask you this? And remember, you all, thank you so much for sharing your comments in the chat. I really do want to make sure we address if there's something you are seeking. You've got Avalaura's time for a good 7 to 8 more minutes. Otherwise, you got to pay for it. So we can talk about yours individually right now. But the idea in general that we would be still and know. I love that. And that we would have this space and time this year. It's like we've been forced to be
Yes.
still, right?
Yes.
I wonder, because you've been able to pour into and teach and hold courses and workshops and sessions for all different types of folks across the world, folks that we would see on TV, Housewives of Potomac, and all of these places. Have you noticed any kinds of patterns or themes across the board that are common to all of us, that no matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many people know your name, how much you've been on TV, all of those things, that there are some themes that are common to all of us? Have you seen anything that
Absolutely.
resonates?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, we all human,
Yeah.
we all bleed red, we all use the bathroom, right? Like it's just
And
and so
it's stink for all of us. Yeah. Depends on what you ate, but yeah, go ahead.
and so I mean the reality is that we have more in common than not.
Yeah.
And I think that we don't really understand that, because when your reality, you like, but no, my life is so different from their life. But we're all human and we all go through the same things. And what we don't realize is that we all have our trials. Your trial might look different from somebody else's trial, but
Yeah.
ultimately the trial can help you and propel you into your purpose and really reinventing your life so that you are living in alignment with who you truly are.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what it looks like, the feelings and the thoughts and the things that come up are the same.
Mm.
It's the same across the board.
Oh,
There is that fear,
yeah. Go ahead.
that lack of confidence, that lack of that, I got my master's degree, my PhD, my law degree, all these things, and I still feel like I'm not enough.
Mm,
I am doing so well in my business. I'm making multiple six figures on top of six figures, and I still can't get a man, or I can't find somebody who's on my level, or I can't really trust people, or I'm always the one giving, 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 and everybody's taking, 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 and I don't know how to establish boundaries for myself. And so I'm not happy in any of my relationships because I don't know how to make people respect me and respect my boundaries and not simply take from me.
Let me tell you why this is so good that you just done that laundry list. Because my question was, no matter socioeconomic status, no matter where you live in the world, and you just named things that have been common for all of your clients, for the folks that you work with. What that says to me is, because we all have similar things that we're dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
that not only do we all have so much in common, we are much more similar than we are different. But
Mm-hmm.
because that is the case, the human condition is so similar and in common with each other that we really do have the answers. Like
Yeah.
we really do.
Yeah.
And it's not just I have them by myself. It comes full circle to where you started, because it may take some other human, some other
Yes.
sister, some other brother
Yep.
working in concert with you, because we all have these things in common. And we think, oh, if I had more money, it would solve all of this.
Yep.
But you talking to people that's got loads.
Listen, I have clients right now who are literally making $500, $600, $700,000 a year.
Yeah.
And they are not happy.
Yeah.
They are not happy.
Yeah.
They have things that are happening in their life right now that are literally rocking them to the core. Yeah. One of my clients last week, she said, Avalaura, I don't know what I would do without our weekly sessions, because I'm literally driving myself crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that is real. It is not about money.
Yeah.
It is not about money. It truly is about fulfillment and living in purpose.
Yeah. I know I want to honor your time, because you've been so gracious with it, and we're coming to a close. I want you to think about some of your last words and anything you have going on that you want to share. Mm-hmm. But you bring up such a great point, because what happens with many of us is we think that we have to overanalyze everything.
Yeah.
And so we will think and overthink and outthink, and we will just think a thing. And many of us as women, I'll just say I've only been a woman, so that's all I know. But many of us as women, we can tell you imagine and make up a whole story and scenario about stuff that has not even occurred, because we just feel like we have the whole story. So it comes back to the be still and be quiet and be and be comfortable with silence, because that opportunity to be still gives our mind. And I love what you said about meditation. Of course, I've fallen in love with yoga. The idea that we can calm the fluctuating mind, we can actually get still enough not to lose and empty out our mind, but be able to manage and say, okay, that was a thought. Now let me file that. That was a thought. And let me just clear and allow some clear space to come. So I thank you for that. Anything else you want to share as we're closing out? Oh, let me read a couple of these. So absolutely not about money. A lot of broke people experience the same chaotic feelings.
Absolutely.
As rich people, right? So absolutely. And then someone said, I want my home to be my sanctuary. Oh, I love that, Sandy. And let me tell you, we just finished talking about it, how much both of us love the fact that we're spending so much time at home.
I love my home.
We don't have to at all. We just want to go travel to get on the beach. But
that's it.
If the beach was at my house, I would be at my house.
I would never leave.
Right. So thank you for enlightening, because I'm going to leave with just this idea of being still being a wonderful thing. If you have any closing words for us and letting us know what you have going on that we should know about and where to find you, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I had a thought when you were just talking about the fact that, because we're all people and we're going through the same things, and, we're going through the same things at different times in our lives. One of the things that I understand about my journey is I had to go through a lot of the things that I experienced, starting off in mental health and getting fired from my job and having to find myself and figure it all out, and taking 6 months for my own healing sabbatical so I could do my work and I could be present and hear from my clients and understand what that feels like to get thrust out of something so that I can move move up into something even greater.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know what all of that's like, and I understand the journey of all that uncomfortableness and vulnerability and getting coaching and counseling and all the healing work that I had to do on myself so that I could be here and fully show up and be present for my clients.
That's
And
good.
so I'm very aware of that. But when you said that, what it made me think of is one of my mentors who always says is that God works through people.
Mm.
And I truly believe that. I have seen it so many times in my life where something that I'm praying about, it's going to show up through a person, through an opportunity. And I think that we have to be open to that and understand that we don't live here alone. We're not meant to do it alone. God works through people. So if you're praying for something, if you need help and you can't figure things out, or you're feeling stuck or unfulfilled, or you just know you want to do greater, don't think that, I got to have all the answers so I can't do it. Pray about it and see who shows up.
That's good. That is so good.
Who shows up and what shows up. I can't tell you the amount of people say, Avalaura, I found your website and I just knew I needed to work with you. And I don't even know what I was looking for. You just popped up somewhere and I was like, I need to work with you.
Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, that is so good. You got me yelling in here. It's so good. God works through people. I love that. And so when you are praying, and he does, one of my mentors is up here, and she still may be, I'm not sure, but I call her literally Jesus's hands and feet on the earth, because she does so much for folks who are homeless, who are hungry, who have no transportation, and the doing of what she does literally becomes her, the being of her being to me the hands and feet of Jesus. It is a beautiful thing to behold. And so when we are praying for, searching for, looking for some things outside of ourselves, knowing that, being confident that we have it in us to do, and then not being afraid to reach outside of us for the help and the support. And we don't live on islands, we are not supposed to live an isolated life, that we are supposed to live in community. I love that. Thank you so much, LaTanya.
You are so welcome.
She's really enjoying this. She lights up when she teaches paint parties and
love it.
Prayer life and faith over fear, worship over worry. I know that's right. Praise over paint parties. Go ahead and preach, LaTanya.
She said, talk, y'all.
Yeah, really good. Hey, Miss Shirley. And I love that Gregory, my husband, he says God makes trees, not furniture.
I love that.
That's good. You gotta do some stuff. That is amazing. If you wouldn't mind just sharing, this has been so good. I love laughing with you.
Thank you.
So
I love laughing. I laugh every single day.
I can tell. I can tell. And there was we got to go, but there was a time and space. There was a time in space in my life where I wasn't as joyous and as boisterous and as, let my husband tell it loud, just really just loud laughing. I wasn't as joyous, and it really is a light dimmer when you're innately like that and you don't. And so I think that's why I love you and connect with you so well, because I feel your joy and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I know we got to go to reach me. I know you asked me that question. I ain't answered it yet.
No, we're just talking. Party, y'all.
I always have something going on. So right now I'm doing a lot of Reiki trainings, really focusing on Reiki healing. I think it's so important in this phase of our journey and in our life and everything that we're going through, and helping you to learn how to heal yourself and your family. But also, if you're a healer, helping you to heal other people and giving you another tool in your toolbox. And so I have another set of Reiki trainings coming up at the end of this month. I also have my Soul Healers Mastermind for my healers who know that they want to be able to run a business. You have a passion for healing. That's your purpose, but you don't know how to monetize, how to make money at it, how to run a business, because we ain't taught that. And so if you're a healer, mental health professional, social worker, coach, counselor, that's definitely for you. You can reach out about that. And then soon, I will be launching my relationship reset program. So I got that coming up as well. So I got a lot of goodies.
Yeah.
A lot of goodies.
And we go to Avalaura.
Yes. Avalaura.com, Avalaura, Avalaura.com. I'm Googleicious. I'm easy to find. There's only one Avalaura, so you don't have to worry about my last name. Avalaura. I'm going to pop up with my hair wrap. You in the right place.
I know that's right. Thank you so much for this time. It has been absolutely amazing. For those of you who are just tuning in, please make sure that you go back and listen to the beginning, because we spent a whole lot of time talking. We got a whole lot in 30 minutes, girl. We did a lot. And please share this out with someone that needs to know not only are they not an island and they're not isolated. They don't have to live an isolated life. But if they just sit still and be still and know, the knowing comes after the being still. I love this. Thank you so much for all of your time. You all, thank you for being here with us. We are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. We're here every night that we have a guest, and we give you a sneak peek into a real conversation with real women. We will see you back here next Thursday night. Please consider joining us on Saturday, February 20th for our next virtual sister circle. It is for women only, of course, but you are invited to attend. If you are a woman, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, February 20th, we're going to be talking about living authentically, and we're going to talk about it in a very real and raw kind of way. So we would love for you to join us. You get all of that information at realwomenrock.org, right down there. Thank you all so much tonight, and thank you, Avalaura. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.